Welcome back to The Local Show, a service of Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts and Geddes Federal Savings and Loan. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show, locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now, here are your hosts, Tom and Steve.
And we're back, folks. Thank you for hanging out with Tom and Steve. No Steve today, though. It's Greg Angwin. Greg Angwin is an old friend of mine. And for those of you who don't know, we were in the DJ business together and had played, some on the order of 500 to 1,000 wedding receptions over one season. It was a little bit crazy, but we were much younger then.
Yes,
and able
equipment
to
was much lighter to us. It was heavy equipment, but
yeah. But it was much easier, and we could consume beer without it affecting us for the rest of the week. Oh my goodness! Hey, I played the what was it, Syracuse Wine Festival? I think it was the other week, and I thought about you because I know you're into the bourbons and whiskey. Is it just bourbons or whiskeys too? What do you like both?
I'm pretty much a purist of bourbon. Yeah.
Oh, the bourbons. Okay. Yeah, they had a good display of different bourbon people. I can't remember who they are. But we did buy some. You'll have to come down to the house and sample it. Kelly got some cream stuff. It was a very, very girly type bourbon, where you can't really taste the bourbon.
You're right. Yeah, that's not really tasting bourbon. Yeah.
You still smoking cigars? We used to smoke a cigar now and again.
Yeah, I kind of cut back on that. I have other vices now, I kind of rotate the vices around.
Well, that's good. As long as you have a vice, that's important.
Or two.
All right. Hey, folks, it's our pleasure to bring back on the show Natasha Schmidt. How are you, Natasha?
I'm well. Thanks for having me.
You're more than welcome. How about you? You like a cigar now and again? Or
I will pass on the cigars. The aroma is nice, but the intake's a little harsh.
Yeah, it's harsh on us.
Bourbon. You like bourbon?
I will also pass on the bourbon for the same reasons.
Very good. See, it's clean living right there.
That's right.
I'll tell you what.
Give me some kale chips. I'm just kidding.
So how was the show for you, the home show?
I think the home show went really well. It was nice to be back in that space of talking to potential clients face to face. It seemed like there was a lot of qualified people coming in, a lot of qualified leads, people asking the right questions with it didn't follow through. Yeah. And it was just really nice to be back in conversation and that type of action. With people in general. I think that's why I like what I do. It's just people in general.
Right. Well, you're so good at it too. Some people they think that they're going to go to shows like that and just sit back in a chair and like you got to be proactive and you got to talk. And I think that people want to do business with people who are interested in what they have to say as well as what you have to say.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's kind of like Jump Street, and you're cutting through a lot of steps. I think when you get to the house. Because you've already made that introduction. They already know who they're dealing with when they come to those home show.
Now, you, with the good weather and everything, you've been out there doing a lot of estimates, a lot of quotes right now?
Well, I am dressed to impress, and I also have to work right after this.
Golly. Yeah.
The calls are coming in, and
a lot more than last year at this time. You think,
I think so. But I mean, the weather got nice really fast, so that's a huge decision on how and when season starts, and what the intake of calls are. Because as soon as that sun's shining, and we're looking at all that ugly leftover concrete from winter, that's when the phones start ringing.
Sure. Well, a lot of people will ask me, since they know that we're kind of connected, they'll say, if I don't have anything laid down on my lawn or walkway or there's no concrete, can rubber stone be poured?
So... No, not exactly. Okay. So we do need some sort of something. The softest surface we could do is maybe like the same prep work you would do to lay concrete. So it'd be that highly compacted, wet tamped run of crush.
Okay.
Typically 5 to 6 inches in thickness. And then we could install over top of that. Mm-hmm. It's not ideal. We'd definitely rather do a hardscape, but if it's just foot traffic, we can get away with it. We've definitely done a number of walkways or like pool extension type of areas, patio extension areas that our new product Vuba is actually designed to go over that type of setting. Okay. So it is designed to be used without a hardscape.
It's more flexible, more pliable, if you will.
It's 100% permeable, and just the way that it's designed, excuse me, the way that it's designed is to go over that run of crush and not have to use a hardscape.
Right.
I see. So what kind of jobs are you doing now? What this time of year? What are you quoting most of?
All of them. I mean, garages are still huge, and it never ceases to amaze me that even after the home shows, I'm on here on a regular basis. Right. We advertise. I'm in my 10th year of business. People are still a little kerfluffled by the fact you can drive on it, you know?
Yeah.
And you heard it from my mouth here. Like, you can drive on it. It's meant to be used. So 80% of our business is still in the residential garage floor market. Mm-hmm. We've had an uptick, I think, in garage sales just because people are starting to kind of catch on that rubber being salt tolerant and highly flexible. Yeah. So it's durable, it's long lasting, and above all else, it's slip resistant. And we don't get that option outside of rubber for a garage floor, because epoxy is going to be slippery when wet. Most generally, our concrete is slippery when it's wet.
Yeah. Greg, what were we talking about earlier where rubber stone would be ideal?
Oh, yeah. We're actually, where I work, they're thinking about our parts department. It's all inside. And because the nature of the guys behind the counter and so forth, and it's rubber and it's softer than the concrete and so forth. So we thought that might be an idea that would kind of run to the top if we were kind of planning on doing something.
Yeah.
It's small, probably 1,000 square feet or something. So I don't know if you'd be interested in that or not. But
9,000 square feet. I mean, I'll come out. I'll come out and take a look.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, interior or exterior, it really is a great durable product for that, for standing and for comfort, for warmth in a basement, for longevity, for slip resistance. I mean,
is it always the same thickness, or is it different thicknesses for different purposes, or?
It's always 3/8 of an inch as minimum. If we're going to be doing a driveway, we're going to be going a little bit thicker to compensate for any potential dry turning. Never any thinner than 3/8.
Yeah.
Right. So right now, folks, so you understand what rubber stone does, it's great around pools because it has kind of I don't know whether it doesn't absorb the heat, it kind of reflects it. And so it doesn't get really hot. So I know that my walkway, I'm able to walk out there, it could be 84 degrees outside and the sun's shining directly on it. And I can go out with my, bare tootsies and not have a problem.
So it can be any color, right?
And it can be any color.
Over 20 different colors that can be mixed and matched. So we can go with just an economical standard black, which is all recycled. We can do that in an interior or garage or like a driveway application. But for pools or patios or walkways, like Tom, yours is like this nice, pretty brown mix.
Yeah,
and it complements the home, complements the
and
that
you put a
walkway
border
coming
on
up
it too,
border,
so it's kind of a neat border. Yeah. So around the pools, around your walkways, if you have old cobblestone and you're trying to make up your mind whether or not to do more cobblestone where the weeds come up and all that stuff.
I have that.
Yeah, that's right.
Or even flagstone with that does a lot of shifting up here in the freeze and thaw.
Right.
So with over an inch of deflection, rubber stone's a great alternative to cover that up.
Okay, best way to get a hold of you and get a free estimate going, what's the way?
Give us a call, a text, or an email. Whatever works for you works for us.
What's the number?
315-463-5916.
And then rubberstoneny.com, rubberstoneny.com. Natasha, always a pleasure to be with you, and you have a great rest of the season and day.
You do the same. Thanks for having me.
You got it. Greg, that's going to wrap things up. I can cut you loose now.
Well, I had a blast this time. I always do, but this was fun. This was fun.
You can get back to your normal life. I mean, after it dies down with the people wanting your autograph and all that stuff, you get back to normal. All All right. Thanks again, buddy. On behalf of the local show, Zoey Advertising, and Tom and Greg, God bless you and your families. Take a walk every day with a friend or family member. It keeps the weight down and the mind clear. The local show is heard every Saturday morning from 11 to 1, and again on Sunday morning from 7 to 9. Listen together with a friend. Until next week, get down to business and tell your friends about the local show right here on 570 WSYR 1069 FM, the iHeartRadio app, and on YouTube at Zoey Advertising 3809.